over. Do you want me to chat the slides over?
Oh, I can move on.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Christopher Garcia. I'll be coordinating the webinar in the background today. So if you have any questions or something's going wrong, you could put that in the chat for me. If you have questions about the slide presentation, please put those in the Q&A, and I'll ask those questions to our panelists after the presentation. And if we have a smaller group today, I'll open it up for people to speak. Let me open up my bio while we have our attendees coming in. Hello, and just so I can make sure everybody knows how to raise their hand and use the Q&A, can you put a hi, hello, how are you into the Q&A for me? So let's see, good afternoon, Kelly. Hi, Tamara. Hi, Melora. Hi, Sergio, Wolf, Judy and I are doing well. Hi, William. Hi, Alyssa, and we are doing well today. And hi, Nancy. Thanks for joining us all, and I'm glad you know how to use the Q&A. I want to make sure you know how to raise your hand. So would you all raise your hand for me? Thank you, Tamara. Thank you, oh, we got a lot of hands. I think we're going to have very competent Zoomers on the call today. So if anything's going wrong, maybe we're on the wrong slide, maybe you can't hear us or see us, that will be our signal. And then at the end of the presentation, if we have time, I'll open it up for questions and you could raise your hand. I'm going to lower everybody's hand. And I want to welcome our presenter today, Judy Hendricks. She's been a project manager for the New Mexico Small Business Assistance Program for 7 years, finding the right scientists and engineers to work with the small businesses. Prior to that, she worked at a number of small biotech companies and startup companies. And I have her contact information here. I'm going to put that into the chat for everybody. And then I'm going to chat a PDF of the slides and the prospectus of the program over to everybody on the call. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Judy. Thank you for being with us today, Judy.
Well, thanks so much, Christopher. Like I was saying, you know, Christopher with the Small Business Development Center at UNM Valencia, they do like everything. For New Mexico Small Business Assistance, we work with like technical challenge. And if you need anything else, he does all the, you know, when you want confidential business counseling, workshops dealing with intellectual property or funding, bookkeeping, all that. That's what the small business does, SBDC. So thanks so much, Christopher. I think it's always a, you know, we love come and talk about our program. So welcome everyone. Like I say, I think you're actually already muted and all that. And at the end, we can open up for discussion, but yeah, feel free to put things in the chat if you have questions. So my name's Judy Hendricks. I work at Sandia National Labs. We have the same program at Los Alamos. So it's a joint program between Los Alamos and Sandia. And the idea, we get a tax credit. We get 2.4 million from the state of New Mexico to pay for engineers and scientists' time to work with small businesses. So the state legislators actually had the right idea, thinking, wow, we got all this expertise in the national labs. We got all these great experts, all these scientists, engineers. How can we use that? How can we leverage that to help small businesses here in New Mexico? So they created this tax credit, and that created the program. So you have to be a New Mexico company, for profit. The idea, if you have a prototype and you want some help, maybe testing, evaluating it, modeling it, imaging it, that's the kind of things we do with New Mexico Small Business through Sandia and Los Alamos. So, and the best part, of course, the assistance, it's no cost to the small business. We get that tax credit. Both Sandia and Los Alamos get 2.4 million. to pay for the engineer's time. So the company, you don't receive money or materials, but hopefully you get your problem solved. So the idea as a small business, do you have a technical challenge? Whether, it's both manufacturing or service industries often have challenges. Do you need some help with testing or design consultation? Maybe access to special equipment. At Sandia, we have a lot of really expensive equipment. We have scanning electron microscope, spectral imaging. We have fire testing facilities, drop zone. So that's one part of the program is, of course, access to expensive equipment. Also, of course, maybe you need to have a model created and you need some help testing it. Maybe you need some imaging. So those are the things we do. What we can't do, of course, we, like the company, you don't receive money or materials, and we don't want to compete with commercially available services, right? So we don't create the prototype. We don't create websites or apps. But what do we do? Well, Sandia National Labs, we employ like 14,000 people. So when you think of 14,000 scientists and engineers, they're pretty much in every type of field you could think of. Of course, we have engineers, optical, electrical, mechanical, civil, but we also have biologists, chemists, geologists, guys, you think of energy, of course, wind, solar. We actually even have a new climate change division. That's our newest department. We have guys, experts, aerospace, environmental issues. I have a whole department of guys that know about lithium batteries that you use in drones and robots. We have a robotics. We have a whole building dedicated to robotics and sensors. We have material scientists. So pretty much any type of project, I think, even agricultural, we do a lot with farmers, with water, cattle. We've done, just about any type of project. If it's a technical challenge, like I say, we're not going to make a website or app, something that you can easily get done down the street. We say we don't create the prototype. Sometimes we help you with the design, you make the prototype, and then we can test it possibly for you. So many, many different types of projects. And through NMSBA program at Sandia and Los Alamos, we also work with a number of partners here in New Mexico. We work with MEP, Manufacturing Extension Partnerships. Now they're the experts when it comes to manufacturing, what they call it lean manufacturing. And it's not necessarily all manufacturing. If you're doing like a testing process, sometimes laboratories obviously need help with lean processing. So MEP is, it's no charge, that they can come in and see how you have your whole system laid out. Sometimes it's nice to contact them before you create, your manufacturing line or even your testing. They can help you with the lean manufacturing. The Cisneros brothers in Berlin use them, I know, many times. Sometimes they make them move all their equipment around to make the process more efficient. But if you're going to save 20 to 30% in efficiency, it's really worth it. So that's one of our partners. We also work with the University of New Mexico, Management of Technology, and the School of Engineering. So we might, depending on what type of project you have, we kind of look through all our partners and see where the best match might be. There's also New Mexico Tech in New Mexico State. They tend to do maybe more agricultural type of projects. But you can, it's all through our program. And sometimes people, what have other people done through our program? Our success stories. Emerging Technology Ventures is located in Alamogordo. And you can see there, it got a drone there. They were working with drones. They were looking, first they started looking at wind turbine blades. And they're also looking at aircraft wings and other things like that. So they came to Sandia knowing they had their prototype, but they were doing some machine learning based technology to really look at the defects. So they worked with some people at Sandia to help them move that along. So they have a number of scientists working on this. They just needed someone who was a little bit more expertise when it came to machine learning and things like that, and looking at these defects. So, by helping them just to get through this challenge, then now Emerging Technologies, they just got a US Navy contract for $200,000. They hired 3 software developers. And that's really the whole point of our program. It's the success stories, trying to get the New Mexico businesses, get them over that challenge so they can, increase your sales, hire more people, have a big impact here in New Mexico. Analytical Technologies is in Farmington. Now that's someone, they had been doing a lot of repairs, circuit boards for oil and gas companies. And Kendall was getting into saying, he wanted to get into the solar panels and do a standalone solar charging station for all your electronic devices. So he was in the process of making a prototype. And he reached out to us, and knowing, he's an expert in circuit boards and things, but, and he had some engineers working on this, but the expertise in lithium batteries, and for the whole charging station, that's something Sandia, like I said, we have a whole department of guys. That's all they do is lithium batteries. So when it comes to trying to make them smaller and really increasing the battery life, looking at maintenance indicators and all that. So the company was really developing this. They just needed that little bit of expertise. And now he's got these employed. I think these might have one downtown Farmington, and he had some on the Navajo Nation. So, and of course, we've done things, vibration testing for a company that was making crates to ship really expensive paintings. We also have worked with vaccine developers here. There's a company just moved from Santa Fe to Rio Rancho, NTX Bio. And we've been doing work with them, hand sanitizers, companies dealing with masks. So it's pretty much any type of business, even service and manufacturing. If you got a challenge, a technical problem, I think we might be able to hopefully help you solve the problem. So what are the qualifications for the program? You have to be a New Mexico for-profit small business. So you have to be in New Mexico because it's a New Mexico state tax credit. For-profit companies, of course, pay taxes. So we're looking for that CRS number, and now I think they call it it's the newest tax ID number, right, for the state of New Mexico. That's how we track our companies. Small business, everyone's pretty much a small business except for Intel, I think, here in New Mexico. So like I say, the restrictions, we don't want to compete with commercially available services and things. So the idea that the assistance is not available at a reasonable cost, and you're not going to get cash or equipment, you probably usually get a written report. Maybe we take your prototype and do testing and then give you a report. And the work is done in the same calendar year. So for an individual project, it involves one small business, for-profit New Mexico company. The idea of that, we're doing some assistance, consulting, something that you really need to access the engineers at Sandia to help overcome this challenge, at least for a reasonable cost. Yeah, like I say, we're often testing and evaluating, imaging, modeling, that kind of thing. One project, someone had a sewing tool, and she had created the sewing tool, She wanted some help testing it. And at first you're thinking, oh, even a sewing tool. I found an engineer, actually, she's a little older than me, but she was told she couldn't become an engineer because she was a woman. So she became a seamstress first, did that for 10 years, then became an engineer. So here I have an engineer that knows a lot about sewing and sewing tools. So she actually worked on that project and tested out the prototype. They made a few minor changes, and they were selling a huge amount of these sewing tools. So that's, really what we're looking for. So we talk about whether a project, the company, you're considered urban if you're in Bernalillo or Santa Fe County. You can get up to $20,000 worth of assistance. You get the assistance, so you're not getting the cash or materials, but hopefully you're getting that problem solved. The idea of the project was really to help rural companies. So any companies outside of Bernalillo and Santa Fe, which Rio Rancho is Sandoval County, right? You can get up to $40,000 worth of assistance. That's $40,000 of the engineer's time to work to solve the problem. So the idea that the state legislation really was saying, let's try to help rural New Mexico. So, and the funding, it's really used to pay for that engineers or scientists' time. Some of it can be used for materials, but like I say, the materials stay at Sandia. So the difference, yeah, 20,000 for Bernalillo and Santa Fe and 40,000 for everywhere else. It's unburdened time, so it actually goes quite far. And I rely on the Sandian scientist and engineer. They listen to your challenge, and they are the ones saying, yeah, they actually write the statement of work and kind of put the budget with it. So I really rely on the scientists at Sandia to be able to know what the budget might be, how much funding they really need for that type of project. So that's an individual project when you have one company coming and working with the engineer. A leverage project is when you have many companies coming together, and you can actually access more funding. The idea, if you have companies that are all working on the same problem. When I had the lithium battery guys in Alamogordo, we had one company that was dealing with aerial drones, another guy dealing with robots, another company was looking at making the lithium batteries. So all these companies had the same challenge. They really wanted to understand for these giant lithium batteries, how to understand the state of health. So they came together, for a leverage project. So it's companies coming together. So they kind of pool the funds, so to speak. They can get up to $100,000 of the engineer's time. When I did the battery project, when you have $100,000, you're getting a team of battery experts. So the battery guys worked on that challenge, looking at lithium batteries to understand the state of charge and the health of the batteries. To leverage projects, we do calls generally in January and September. So the idea, the companies write a proposal saying this is the problem, this is the solution. We actually go in from a council who grades it. And it comes back. So it's a little bit more work, but you can access more funding. For the individual project, it's really simple. You don't have to go through any presentations or anything like that. So, and also I wanted to mention, we also have a new program called Trigger, TRGR. It's a tax readiness program. You have to be licensing intellectual property that's from Sandia or Los Alamos. Or if you have a CRADA is a cooperation agreement. They're usually bigger, maybe a couple 100,000, and companies do in-kind contribution. But if you have a license or a CRADA, you can apply for this trigger funding, which is also a state tax credit, and a company can get up to $150,000 of assistance. So same thing, you don't get the money, you get the help. And some people wonder, well, what kind of intellectual property is there to license? on the websites for both Los Alamos and Sandia. You go for Sandia, you go to sandia.gov and type in intellectual property, and you'll see a list of our licenses that are available to license. So if you're licensing something, you could enter into that program. The idea, we do R&D and we want companies to help commercialize our intellectual property. So project requirements, we have a principal investigator. So that's the engineer or scientist, and he's really coordinating, he or she is coordinating the whole project. The PI communicates with me and the company. And of course, we still have to follow all our safety and security requirements for our projects. So at the moment, right now, because we're a federal laboratory, that means no hemp marijuana type projects, because that's not part of our federal, we can't do it because we're a federal laboratory. Project requirements for the small business, we ask that you have one person that acts as a point of contact. And that's, one person to work with. Often we're getting samples to test. So to make sure we have that good communication, I was saying, those success stories, it really comes down to when we have a great communication between the company and the engineer. Often since we're doing testing, to be working well with the company to understand where are the test samples, are we getting more, and if they're delayed, what's going on. So, and we've been throughout the whole state of New Mexico. We've been in every county. We've done, like I say, projects. We've done some cattle projects. I've done one. So we have some, what we call, it's almost like face recognition for cattle, when they're trying to actually vaccinate horses to understand and make sure they're not revaccinating the same horse. We've done stuff with solar pumps in the cattle drinking troughs. The company had the solar pumps in their drinking water. So in the winter they wouldn't freeze. So they had that already set up, and we were doing some testing to understand what might be the best way to accomplish that. So pretty much and actually we emphasize the rural projects. They kind of come to the top of the list. On our metrics, so the program's been around since 2000. And Sandia began the program first, and then Los Alamos joined later. But we've helped there's been over 3,000 assistances. So each year, Sandia, I think we do about 150 projects. So 150 different companies are receiving assistance. And then the idea that, yes, the assistance is free, but for that, we ask that you do customer satisfaction surveys and economic development surveys. So we want to go back to the state and show them how many jobs were created. How many people you hired, what kind of funding you received, how much did your sales increase? And we figure all that out and go back to the state, because pretty much every year, often the state talks about doing away with tax credits. And Sandia has said, if we didn't have this tax credit to fund this program, we wouldn't have this program. So it's important for our tax credit to understand so when companies finish an assistance, to please fill out the economic survey. Let us know the impact. And maybe you just had a cost avoidance, but that's huge too, even if you hired one student part-time, it's something like that. It's still, we want to hear what the impact is. So, and a company is allowed one assistance per year. And how do I apply? It's actually very simple, even though you're working with a big national lab. The way to apply, it's really simple. You go to our website, NMSBA Program.org. There's a button that says request for assistance, and it's a one-page form. It'll ask you, your name, your company name, your address, your email, phone number, and we really just need a sentence or two, whether you're creating the latest and greatest solar panels, trying to create ductwork, what's your prototype? What are you working with? Or if it's a service type of industry, what type of assistance are you really looking for? So, and you fill that out. Within 5 business days, one of the project managers will give you a call. We have a questionnaire to fill out, a few more questions about what you need, and asking to your company, are you located in New Mexico? Are you for profit? Are you related to anyone at the labs? That doesn't necessarily negate you or anything, but we just have a couple of questions. And then from there, once we understand really what type of engineer or scientist would be best for this type of project, we go back to the labs and talk to some engineers and scientists. And a lot of times, of course, people are saying, oh yeah, I'm dealing with wind energy. I have my wind blade turbine. Of course, you have engineers that deal with wind. Yes, of course we do. It's a question of finding engineers that have time to work on a project. So these engineers have what we call their mission work. Sometimes, so we're trying to find engineers and scientists that have a little bit more time. These aren't huge projects. For an individual projects, we talk about things getting done in 3 to 4 months. So it shouldn't be it's not a huge amount of time, but if the engineer, is, if they have, tons of deadlines, probably not going to have time for a New Mexico small business assistance. But knowing, like when I say we have departments, we have whole departments dealing with robotics and batteries and chemistry and biology. Sometimes people know, like their neighbor might be someone they were talking to that's an optical, engineer. But it's a place to start. And actually, when you submit a request, you don't even need to know anyone. You just have to write a sentence or two, what kind of help you need. And then a project manager will call and talk to you more about what you really need. And hopefully we can set up a meeting with an engineer or scientist. Like I say, then we kind of rely on the engineer or scientist to develop the statement of work. There is some paperwork, of course, a little bit of paperwork to sign up front and at the end. But, for free assistance, it's really an amazing program. When go to that slide before when it showed how many assistances we've done, 3,000 since we began. And that's the whole point is we have this great expertise at the lab. How can we help small businesses? So, and that's really what we're after. These are the project managers. John Martinez is also from Sandia. And we got Julia Wise, Amanda Garcia and John Rogers are at Los Alamos. But actually you just submit. Sometimes if you know a scientist at one lab or another, you can put their name on the form, but you don't need to. You really just go to the website. Like I said, a 1-page form, and then a project manager will call you. So that's, I don't know if I should leave that slide, but thank you. I always love talking about New Mexico Small Business Assistance. I think it's the best program there is in New Mexico that's free for technical help. So, and like I was saying, if you any other kind of business help you need, I bet Christopher can help you with. But if you need technical help, that's New Mexico Small Business NMSBA Program at Sandia or Los Alamos.
Thank you, Judy, for the shout out for the SBDC. Do you want to do some Q&A now? We have one in the Q&A.
Sure.
Let's ask, do your modeling opportunities include stereolithography or selective laser sintering?
That sounds like definitely stuff we do. Yes, and it's sometimes when it comes, I've done another number of projects. My background, I'll say I'm a microbiologist, but I've been dealing with lasers and all that kind of things for years, and it's more You submit a request, and I find the right person to look at that problem, and we usually end up doing a conference call. So you're usually talking to an engineer with that kind of background and saying what you need help with.
Perfect. Let me open it up. If you want to speak a question, please raise your hand. Sometimes if I